Illustrator comes with a number of effects which can be used to quickly and easily manipulate paths. Some you are more likely to use than others when drawing fashion flats and illustrations. In this tutorial we are going to look at two basic distort and transform effects that are commonly used in fashion drawing: zigzag and warp. I've got a document open here with a horizontal straight line for us to apply a zigzag effect to and a rectangle for us to apply a warp effect to. Let's start with the zigzag. To apply an effect, I first need to select the path I want to apply the effect to, in this instance the straight line. Next I'm going to go to Effects, Distort and Transform and Zigzag. This brings up the zigzag dialog window where I can define the exact look of the effect. The first thing I'm going to do is tick the preview box. This will show the changes live before I click OK. The first scale allows me to set the scale or depth of the zigzag. Switching between absolute and relative allows me to set the size either as a percentage or an actual pixel value. With the second scale I can define the number of ridges or zigzags, if you will. And lastly I can define whether I want the ridges to be smooth or corners. When I am happy with my settings I click OK to apply the effect. So that's it, simple. This is obviously a great effect to use for zigzag stitching. Next let's take a look at the warp effect. I'm going to select my rectangle and then I'm going to go to Effect, Warp and Arc Lower. Let's just tick the preview box so we can see our changes happening live. The warp effect distorts the original path. In this case a lower arc is making the bottom of my rectangle bulge outwards in an arc shape. I can choose whether I want the arc to appear on the horizontal or vertical axes by switching between these two radio buttons. The bend slider allows me to make my arc either convex or concave. With the distortion sliders I can distort the path on either the horizontal or vertical axis or a combination of the both. There are lots of different warp effects to choose from. You can browse through them via the Style drop-down. I tend to find that the Arc Lower is the one I use the most. Once you are happy with your settings, click OK to apply the effect. You'll notice that if I select my rectangle, the guidelines still show the original shape. This is because Illustrator still considers this a rectangular path. The warp effect is just a visual illusion, so to speak. It is the same with the zigzag. This is still considered a straight line. If I want to edit a path with the effect applied with the direct selection tool, for example, I first need to expand the appearance. With my path selected, I need to go to Object and then Expand Appearance. This makes the path adopt the line of the effect so that it now becomes a fully editable path in the new shape. I can now take my direct selection tool and alter the zigzag as required. We will look into more advanced effects in later lessons, but for now you should find zigzag and warp useful in your basic fashion drawing toolbox.